Welcome, Jim. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
It's St. Patty's Day, obviously.
Patty's Day.
So we're
Happy St.
recording
Patty's
here
Day.
at beautiful Pod Starters in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Welcome to the past.
So today's episode 3 of the community game plan and shenanigans with Jim and Eric as usual.
Yes, sir.
Today we're going to be talking about the beautiful booming game. Of course, we're going to be talking about soccer and soccer in our community. So today we are going to have a special guest. We're going to have the director of United Dartmouth Football Club, Fawn Mulholland, come on and talk to us as well and give us some highlights about the club and what's going on in the community.
Yeah, that's a definitely a great way to go. Both of us have had experiences with UDFC.
Yep.
I've played even before it became UDFC, which will be a cool little segue to what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, UDFC actually does put a bunch into the community, as people will find out. And again, if you're looking to get into the club or you have kids who want to play soccer, adults want to play soccer, they're a place to go.
Yeah. So how did you start soccer? You mentioned you started with Forest Hills, didn't you?
No,
Porters
actually,
Lake?
I started coaching in Porters Lake.
Right.
I started soccer with Cole Harbour when I moved here from Ontario.
Right.
I started soccer back in Germany when I was a kid, as one does. You pick a sport, and in Europe, you pick soccer. I do not know how to play hockey, so so I started with Cole Harbour and really stuck with it. Got me out of the house. My parents were able to get me out of the house. I made a really tight knit group really early on. I was living in Lake Echo, so being in Cole Harbour wasn't where most people were. So I only got to see these friends during the summer. So when soccer season came, I'm like, put me on the team. I need to be with this group. I went from Cole Harbour to Forest Hills. Played some tier 1 for a while. Realized a lot of my really close friends weren't going to be playing Tier 1, so I dropped down to House League. And
we had similar stories. I didn't realize how close.
it was it. Then I just started. I dropped down. I did assistant coaching. I did coaching. Stepped into Porters Lake when Porters Lake needed a head coach. I jumped into there. Went to coach at DU for a while, and found myself putting in a soccer club, like a soccer team myself, into UDFC as senior men's.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, so similar to you, like I started soccer. I was introduced in the early 90s while I was living in Germany. When we moved back to Nova Scotia, to Canada, soccer, my two big sports previously were baseball and soccer. But when we moved back here, they ran at the same time. So my parents, my parents told me, well, you have to pick one or the other, and I went the soccer route mainly because I wasn't sitting around. I was on the field. I was moving. I was constantly moving. So I started back here with Dartmouth United DU, which then became part of the United Dartmouth Football Club. I started coaching back in Fredericton when I was living there. A funny story: a neighbor across the street from me, her kid was in middle school, came over to me one day and said, the school's about not to have a soccer team because they have no coach. Are you interested? I'm like, I've never coached in my life. Sure, why not?
Definitely am interested. Yeah.
So 7 years later of coaching varsity boys middle school soccer, then eventually moved back to Dartmouth area, and as soon as I could, I got back involved with UDFC and been coaching ever since. Started working on my C license and just trying to help out as much as possible.
Yeah. It's not a slow thing. Like you figure, even just coaching, like you're go no matter what level you're at. You're pretty much go all the time.
Yeah, I've primarily done A, but I've done some AA a couple seasons now, and it's quite hectic schedule-wise plus work, so it's fun.
Yeah, so volunteering is it's a commitment, which I find a lot of people, it's just like, oh, why don't you just volunteer? It's like, just. Running a team is not a just anything, and I'm pretty sure that's in any sport, especially when it comes to the fundraising aspect.
Yes,
because a lot of the clubs, which I find people don't realize, a lot of their money, it's not from their players that come in. It's like that gets you your field and your balls, but if you need new jerseys, all of that, that's when you start
Trips.
seeing trips, right?
Tournaments. That was the big one we were always fundraising for, was trips, and even extra activities for the teams and the squads outside of the pitch.
Yeah.
We've done Activate, we've done some clubs have gone bowling, some different things just to do the community outreach as well. We've actually done some gathering of food goods for different charities as well through the club, which is great.
Nice. Yeah, our big ones, because hockey kind of took over all the bottles and the bottle drives, is we spent a lot of time either in front of the liquor store or Sobeys with the barbecues.
Packing groceries.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
Yeah, I got to avoid that. It was just the barbecues for my people. We're all about food. They found out I could cook, and they put me behind a barbecue.
Perfect. Today we have a guest.
I like guests.
I like guests too. So today we actually have the director of soccer for the United Dartmouth Football Club, Fawn Mulholland. We're going to introduce her and let her tell us a little bit about her background, her journey into soccer, and then her kind of her role as the director of soccer and what it kind of entails. Hopes, dreams, all that
all
fun
of that stuff. Walks
so
on the beach.
Welcome, Fawn, to the Community Game Plan Shenanigans with Jim and Eric. Can you give us a little bit of your background?
For sure. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Jim. Excited to be talking about myself, which is not something I'll often say. But to give you a little bit of background about me, I'm originally from Northern Ireland, been in Canada for how many years now? I don't want to date myself. Since 2016. So back home, I played a lot, had a lot of great experiences as a player, and then traveled across the pond and played 4 years NCAA soccer in Pennsylvania.
Happy St. Paddy's Day, by the way.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, it looks a little different here.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. So, I had a long player career. And then basically when I got up into Canada, I suffered a few different injuries that just meant I didn't want to pursue playing anymore. So pretty much been moving through some coaching and technical leadership positions ever since. So that's
nice.
A little bit about me.
Oh, that's excellent. So now you're director of soccer at UDFC. How many years have you've been 3-4 years now?
It's coming up on 3, believe it or not.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought it was around 3. So what does that role entail, and how are you enjoying it so far?
So I enjoy my life. What can I say? I've been out in Nova Scotia here for about those 3 years. I was in Ontario before doing kind of similar roles. So technical director at a couple of different clubs, and I saw the opportunity to move out here for a full-time gig doing director of soccer, and I was like, yeah, I gotta take it. I love Atlantic Canada, so here we are.
Nice.
The role, it's a lot of getting people to move in the same direction. Yeah. So I could wrap it up and say it's technical oversight for the entire club, which means everything under the sun that you see on the pitch. So
and behind the scenes.
Yeah. From the coaches we put out there, the players and the different opportunities we're able to provide for them through programs, facilities, all the equipment, technical budgeting, all of those kind of fun things that happen, whether people realize or not. But yeah, it's a lot of managing different kind of groups of people and meeting the varied needs of a lot of different people. For a club our size, it's pretty challenging, but no 2 days look the same.
Right. No, that's great. So, Jim and I mentioned earlier, we've been in the Dartmouth area. We've been involved in different clubs. The origins of United Dartmouth Football Club came from a bunch of smaller clubs. So, Jim, for example, he played Cole Harbour. I played myself Dartmouth United. But can you share a little bit of the history of how UDFC came about and about how many years has the club been around? Because we're probably one of the larger in the HRM now, correct?
Yeah, I actually think we're either the largest in the province. I can't confirm. We're one of two, basically.
Right.
Largest in the province. And potentially in all of Atlantic Canada.
I'd
But
get behind
TBD.
that, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
No.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, Cole Harbour and Dartmouth United, there was, of course, Eastern Passage and
What it's
Dartmouth
like-
FC as well.
No, Porter's Lake didn't come in.
Did they not come over to the fold? Those jerks.
Porter Lake still.
Sorry,
has their
Porter's
own
Lake.
club.
I, as somebody who used to coach for you, really think you should get on board that.
Your words, Jim, not mine. Although we have open arms, always open arms.
Happy to do it.
Yeah, so like a lot of the people who brought those groups together are still in place doing one job or another at the club. I want to say 2018, the four clubs came together and in an incredibly aggressive timeline. So kind of founding people like Sheldon Miller, Rob Gillis, Susan Steele, who again are all still involved either in a board capacity at UDFC or as staff.
Right.
They basically dragged everyone kicking and screaming so that the four clubs could pool the resources a bit better and kind of meet the varied needs of the different communities too.
What are some of the needs of the different communities? Since we are a community game plan kind of show, I'd like to know the tie into community.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, to pull the four together, I think the logical thought process was, hey, this club's really good at kind of our grassroots level or recreational level and engaging a lot of members of the community in that fashion. And then other clubs, like my understanding, Dartmouth United was really kind of big on the competitive side of things. So when those were pulled together, I think it was to meet literally the different kind of playing ambitions of varied groups. But yeah, I mean, geographically, I think pulling them all together and offering programming across all of those areas is something that has been a big, strong suit for us. Like we've got better ability to get facilities local to folks. So accessibility is one of our core pillars. And I think that's a big kind of guiding star then in what we did to pull the four clubs together.
Yeah. No, that's great. So that kind of leads into my next area of, building the support of soccer culture. How is UDFC more than just the sports organization in our community?
Yeah, I mean, so I've fondly called some of our older members or more tenured members the godfathers of Dartmouth soccer. And I think although that should be taken in kind of a joking manner, I think it's true. Like the people who have been invested for a long time in any of those entities continue to be incredibly invested. And I think that kind of encapsulates what UDFC is, which is a bunch of really loyal people who have just got the best interests of the players at heart. And they want to do the best kind of by the community that we're offering things to. So I'd say like that family sense and really the loyalty goes through generations is something that sets UDFC apart from probably some other clubs in the area.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
No, definitely. Well, again, as somebody who's played for two different clubs that kind of merged in, it was very visible. The different level, like DU would get the number one practice times on the best field. We found ourselves as Cole Harbour practicing over on the pitch under the bridge. That was like all you could smell were the
NS Power.
Yeah, Nova Scotia Power. The smokestacks just rolling in on you. But like that joining after coaching it when it became UDFC, just seeing the like people who used to play on opposite sides of the field, like opposite sides of the pitch, are now come together all for the passion of the game. And it is a very big community-driven thing, I found as well, yeah.
For sure. And honestly, to see how much people have come together in like just 7 years, the club is really young.
Yeah.
But everybody kind of brought their loyalties with them and just started to kind of swim in the same direction.
Yeah, which is also why when I put together our senior men's team, you have the option to just pay the fee and do it all yourself, but the first people we contacted was UDFC because it was just an organization that already made sense.
Yeah. So one of the other things I love about our club is the kind of the incentives that exist to support the diversity in our area and inclusion within the club. Can you talk a little bit about what the club has to offer for that and what they're doing to help create that inclusion around?
For sure. I mean, straight off the top, we have good processes and people in place. Like we've got a DEIB committee, which I think is kind of your baseline.
Yeah.
It's what does that committee actually do thereafter, and how do they roll out programs through staff as well. So like some programs that we've had a lot of success with, and again, it goes back to that idea of being accessible and providing something for as many people as we can. But like some programs we've rolled out through that would be like our quiet soccer. So for neurodivergent kids, that was award winning this
Yeah.
past year with Soccer Nova Scotia. We have a partnership with Special Olympics, our Tri Preston programs, which brought soccer into the communities of Cherrybrook, East Preston, and North Preston for the first time ever.
Right.
So those are some really, I think, like we go out to the communities that are underserved, and we're willing to kind of go the 80%, so they only have to come the 20% to actually get on the pitch.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I saw a lot of that. Grew up in Lake Echo, and some of the best players that I knew through junior high were never on the summer teams.
Right.
And I was just like, what is going on? But
Yeah.
I went to Creighton.
Right.
So my junior high was the majority of East Preston
Yeah.
went to that junior high.
Yeah.
And yeah, the numbers didn't make sense when you'd go to the field in the summer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I attended, well, actually it was one of my practice times recently. There was the BIPOC Black Excellence UDFC event, and they had members from the Halifax Wanderers and the Halifax Tides
Oh, wow.
that came out and did some sessions with the kids. I had my U18A girls, and they about 6 members of the Tides actually played a scrimmage with us, which was a blast.
And you guys destroyed them, right?
Oh no, we mixed them in. I mean, we had the mix. We had three on each side. Come on. But that kind of actually leads right into my next thing that I wanted us to talk about, because we now have 2 professional soccer teams in HRM.
Finally.
Of the Halifax Wanderers going into their 7th season, which is amazing. And we have the new Halifax Tides in their inaugural season starting in April. So I know for myself, I've been coaching female soccer for 7, almost 8 years now. So this is a big thing for me, and having that Halifax Tides and, supporting women's soccer and seeing the growth of women's soccer across not just North America, but the world and within our community. So within UDFC, how are you contributing to the growth of girls and women's soccer within the club?
Great question. Where should I start? I mean,
Once upon a time is always the best place. There was a ball.
We've been quite intentional. Yeah, there was a ball. Yeah. We've been pretty intentional with how we approach engaging women. It's not just players on the pitch, but it's how many different ways can we engage people and, again, break down barriers to accessibility. So one of the great things that I brought from my time in Ontario was this idea of like an adult kick around for women. And I just remember like one of my clearest visions of coaching I've ever had was when I just started coaching, like fresh out of university. And I was coaching like an adult beginner program for women. And it was like women who were old enough to be my grandmother playing type thing, like some women in their 60s.
Love it.
Hey, we play with a woman like that.
I do. Yeah, we do.
You'd be amazed. I just remember specifically this one player booted the ball in the air. It must have gone up about 50 feet, and it came back down, and one of the 60 plus members just literally one touch took the ball out of the air, and it was the best touch I've ever seen. So that kind of set the tone for me that I was like, all right, we need more opportunities for not just players who are conventional players, but like people who might have passed the quote unquote playing stages to get involved in the game. So I kind of carried that, and I really landed on my feet with UDFC, where there was already initiatives like Winspire happening.
Right.
So Winspire, for example, we got Erin McLeod out to do a keynote speech. It was nationally recognized by Coach.ca. So that was a big one that was here before I even landed.
And those that don't know Erin McLeod, she's a ex-national women's soccer player.
She's all right.
And she's going to be the goalkeeper for the Halifax Tides.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, she's all right. I'm going to completely stick it out there. I have never bought a World Cup ticket for the men's soccer, and I have multiple times gone to a Women's World Cup game
Nice.
because I find the soccer, and I don't care who doesn't agree, is way better.
Oh, I
so
100%.
many less dives. I find the technical aspect it's just beautiful in the women's soccer. So
yeah.
to watch Team Canada and Team USA actually play in New Brunswick was like highlights of my life.
I saw the Canada-Mexico game at Halifax Wanderers grounds. That was amazing. That was a fun soccer game too.
Yeah.
So we'll continue on. I mean, within DFC, you encourage, or what's something that you guys are encouraging more women to step into the coaching and leadership roles? I know Soccer Nova Scotia recently held a all-female C license, I believe it was, training. And you guys took part of that?
Yeah, I'm helping to facilitate that, which is really fun. We've got, I want to say, about 18 different coaches at the moment in She Can Coach, which is done by Canada Soccer. It's basically fully funded courses, either community level, so your very entry level ones, or this more recently, the C Diploma. So we've got 8 different coaches there, which I want to say those numbers make us probably the most prevalent club within the She Can Coach programs. So we're really taking advantage of those opportunities and kind of encouraging our coaches to get involved.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, things I didn't know.
Yeah. No, we're very fortunate that even myself, like I'm taking advantage of She Can Coach grant money towards my A diploma.
That's amazing. I wish that kind of stuff was along earlier. I had my mother coached my team for a while. Go figure, my mom in soccer, right? My mom does everything. My sister was our manager for our team when I was Cole Harbour, but again, she probably would have stepped up, but she just, didn't have time for the courses, didn't have the money for the courses, like she had to put it into school. And they were like really, they were interested in soccer. Like my sister was my favorite manager, but it's because she wasn't afraid putting us in our place.
Right.
But again, same with anytime as somebody who coached girls as well, like needing a woman on the sideline, like finding that assistant coach or that manager to come in and like volunteer their time was really difficult. I could have picked like a guy from anywhere. Yeah. But to find that woman's support, that female support on the pitch was just
I've been fortunate. My girlfriend Tanya has kind of followed my tracks and has gone into the coaching world. So she's my usually my number one assistant, and it's great because I always have a female with me. Yeah. And I'm coaching female soccer, so it just goes hand in hand, which is I love, and it's time for us.
Right. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to shift. Maybe talk about. I know there's so much going on within the club, and there's new incentives coming for player development and coaching. Could you maybe talk a little bit about what the new incentives are for player development and even the coach development within the club?
Sure. Yeah. So player development, obviously, every club kind of has a moment of reckoning where they say, hey, our programs are running and they're fine, they're meeting a need. But I find that as kids become a bit different and as player needs become a bit different, we have to adjust. So, for example, our high performance programs, like we've got an integrated support team in place that basically should provide a holistic development experience for those players. So that's from nutrition to mental skills to physical prep, all kind of items that we may not have in-house expertise in because we are the football people. Right. But really ensuring that those players who have higher aspirations get to be pushed and they get kind of a little bit of knowledge as well about how or what direction they might be able to be pushed in. So for the players, that's kind of always an ongoing item. With our coaches, we have in place now a few different mechanisms to just ensure that they're kind of aligning with what we'd like to put out on the pitch. So do the sessions look like what we'd be proud to put on? And all of this kind of comes back at full circle to where we're able to say, hey, coach, like we really value your time. And we're able to give kind of a stipend to our coaches now too, which is awesome. A big win for me in my 3 years.
That's huge.
Yeah. Do you have any questions on?
What I want to know is for the millions and millions of people who are listening to this, who are going to be following, on our podcast
as we grow.
What would you have to say to the people of the area? Like, what do you have going, or something you'd like them to know about UDFC, be it an initiative you're doing or just a basic bit of UDFC advice?
That's a tricky one.
Thanks.
One thing.
For millions and millions of people are listening.
I
No pressure.
I could go on a rant of a few things myself, but that's from my side of things.
What do you want the people to know?
We're always trying to be better. And I think the one thing you'll get at UDFC that you might not get elsewhere is an ear that legitimately is listening to your feedback and willing to make changes and improvements where that feedback is warranted. So, like, it doesn't fall on deaf ears. We are very much embedded in the community and respect that the community built this club. Like, I'm not coming in here and imposing my way over the community. I think it's really important to build it kind of all together, and we have to give the people who are part of the community and the people who are ultimately paying in and members of the club that degree of influence that they might not get elsewhere.
That's great. Yeah, I like it. And what kind of for the coaches, like say Eric decided he wanted to play, a little more soccer, and does coaching get him some kind of nudge into a team? Does the club cover his fee for that, or what's going on now?
No, I'm not looking for another team to play on.
Eric, are you looking to play? No?
Don't know if my knees can hold up much longer.
That's fair. I mean, one free place you can play, we have a coaches kick around well, we've got men's and women's split out. We did have co-ed, and then we had a couple too many injuries, myself included in that co-ed. So we kind of branched out into, all right, our adult kick around programs, coaches play free, come on ahead. And then obviously the sense of community around, like if people are looking for the higher level teams, so metro teams or teams in NSSL even, then we have kind of those connections where we can nudge people in the direction of the teams, and then they're free to spend their stipend however they wish.
That's wicked. Yeah. You can spend what we give you however you'd like a regular job.
My money goes back into my team, whatever squad I'm working
right?
with.
Exactly. How about that aspect? I'm just curious about sponsors and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I mean, we're kind of leading, how to potentially local businesses. I know the club does have an incentive looking for sponsors, team sponsors, and so let's give them, how do they get in touch with you if they're looking to be a sponsor of the club or maybe one of the AAA or higher level teams?
Yeah, so again, back to that kind of being almost an open door policy. Like it is really as simple as reach out to our info mailbox and it will get to wherever it should be. We've got a new executive director starting tomorrow. So Nino, who was formerly at Soccer Nova Scotia, is coming in and will be kind of leading the business side of house. So I think we'll be really, name drops.
Yeah, if you're in the soccer community, you know Neo.
I know. I didn't try to pronounce his last name because
I don't ever try either.
Yeah, but we're in a space where we've already been targeting some businesses and working with some businesses to raise awareness for their side of things, but also give back to our community and pump the funds into certain avenues. So I think we'll only get better at that with a really kind of structured approach to it that Nino should be able to bring.
Yeah, excellent. Cool. So if somebody wants to get involved, I mean, we're really approaching our spring assessments for summer season as for players, anyways. But if players or volunteers or coaches or anybody wants to get involved with United Dartmouth Football Club, again, do they just reach out to the info or go through the website?
Bit of both works. All of our emails are on there, so we do a decent job of breaking down who you should contact should you have a specific idea. But again, the info box will get distributed to whoever it should. But one thing I would say is there's no contribution is too small. Like even if a person wants to provide a single touch point in their expertise of, I don't even know, playing the guitar or something to that effect, we'll find a place and a way to utilize that person and their expertise, and hopefully that goes a long way to increasing our community presence as well.
Yeah,
That's huge.
no, that's
actually
awesome.
really cool.
So I guess I kind of had one other question that you mentioned community focused. Does the club have any community projects, focused projects that they're working on this summer or into the new year that we should be aware of and maybe we can help you with?
Fantastic question.
We do like to help.
We do.
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. We have high aspirations. Like in our dreams, we'd be able to pull the community together and kind of fund some kind of facility. But this is our dreams. I don't think that's on the near-term horizon by any means. But we'll continue to do those community initiatives. So last year, we did our first ever annual awards night in October. And we basically filled or close to filled out the Woodlawn Auditorium, which seats 800 people. So at various points in the night, we had probably anywhere from 400 to 600 people pulled together.
That's amazing.
The awards we gave out there, we had sponsored awards. We had a named sponsor for the event itself. So that was a really, really cool initiative that we'll be doing every year. But I think from that, we've got other opportunities to connect with other groups, like our new uniforms coming, for example.
Yeah, that's.
I know that we're. Oh, jeez, yeah, you're telling me. I'm glad I'm kind of on the other side of it, but yeah, like just there's always something going on, and as I say, like if somebody's got even the most obscure expertise, if you can see a way that might align to even our values, if it's not directly applicable to our operations, then we're all ears.
We have a pretty good talent. We can sell homes.
Well, why do you think I dropped the facility number in there?
Oh my! Oh, this is why we say shenanigans.
I'm shameless.
Yeah.
I'm shameless.
Yeah.
We both also pretty decent soccer players in our time.
At our times.
In our day. I still think I
Well,
got the
we're
longest
always
throw in the league.
Yeah, probably. I probably have the most
We're
concussions.
always looking.
So, Magic Bottle. You've got Eric and myself here. Eric already coaches. You need help, say, with one thing. What would you put Eric and myself to work on?
And I'm not touching grass fields. Because that is I know that's a huge grass fields. HRM, we need grass fields.
Yeah.
And actually, we would
do.
love some more turf, but
and some more buildings, like indoor facilities,
More domes.
and
Yeah. I don't know if you know this. Our last ED went in front of HRM's council to actually speak a little bit about that, just because the facilities are we're so constrained on them.
yeah, I did hear about that.
Yeah, and like that's not just us; that's across the board. I think everybody feels the pain there.
Yes, I've talked to other clubs and other coaches at other clubs, and finding practice time on decent fields or decent turf it's difficult for everybody because. I know when I played hockey back as a youngster, we didn't have enough ice surfaces. Now we have we still don't have enough ice surfaces.
yeah,
from what I
they
understand.
even closed some down.
Yeah, with ringette and hockey and everything, but soccer's the same. And I know Halifax Wanderers are still pushing for something over there to happen. And now they got 2 professional soccer teams over there. And
So to anybody who's a developer who owns a lot of land and is looking for a way to make a nice passive income, soccer fields are needed.
They are.
all right,
Magic Bottle, though. I don't know if I answered you.
They
no,
didn't.
I
you
don't know
didn't.
if I have
we
an
went on
answer.
our rant again. Sorry.
We shenaniganed.
Yeah. I don't know if I have an answer for you. I think just honestly the consistency of people being there to help and to coach and to be involved and to continue to push for better community engagement, better opportunities for sponsorship. I think the consistency over everything is what I would say as a Magic Bottle.
more
just that
exposure.
consistency.
More
Is what
exposure.
I'm hearing. More exposure.
I'm glad we have her here right now in front of our millions and millions of listeners.
Well, you never know. If we put you in our need to know, then there'll be, 4,500 people at least get an email about it. So you could have a spike. You could have a spike in this podcast.
Well, the better the spike, the more we can help you, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We might have more shenanigans like this down the road.
I'm telling you. We'll do it on the pitch.
So where can our listeners find, well, all throughout the udfc.ca website? I mean, that's probably the best place, but I know United is across all social media platforms as well. So make sure you give them a follow on Facebook and Instagram. And I'm sure, knowing you, Fawn, well enough, you don't want to throw your socials out there. So I'll leave that there.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah. But again, thank you, Fawn, for coming on. And, this was great. It was interesting to hear, kind of the club side of things, because I know I'm on one side of the field and one side of the pitch. Jim's kind of hears what, the outside of things, but to hear from yourself, and you're right in the mix with everything. Is there anything that you would like to, last minute words that you would like to throw out to the community?
I don't know. I think just take heed of what I said. Like, we're always looking to improve, always looking to better ourselves. So don't be afraid to come forward. If we're not offering a program and you think, hey, you're really missing a trick, or there's this part of the community that's being underserved, like, let us know that, because we're pretty good at getting a decent program shipped in short order. Yeah,
no, that's great. I mean, I've seen it in my years now. With, like you mentioned, Quiet Soccer earlier, that initiative was huge. That's probably an area that wasn't
never existed.
Utilized. Right? Yeah. So it's just helping and getting more people involved in sports in general, right?
For sure.
Solid.
Excellent. Well, thank you again, Fawn. So Director of Soccer at United Dartmouth Football Club. If you're looking to spend some time out in the sun this summer, make sure you go find a local soccer pitch and watch some of the local soccer. There's tons of talent. And now with 2 professional soccer teams in the city, it's just another avenue for our local players to actually have a career in soccer, which is absolutely amazing. And it's something we've never had.
No, we never had that. We had nothing. We had to pretend we were amazing.
Yeah, we still do.
Yeah, exactly. And for anybody who has heard this with the UDFC and decided they really want to move into the area and have their kids or play themselves, we've got the connections. And, if you're moving into the catchment area for UDFC, we'd be more than happy to sell you in and let you help you buy your home.
Yeah, we'll get you in touch with the club and make sure that your kids are enjoying their soccer experience.
Exactly. And if they're not, we can go in and complain for you.
All right, we'll wrap it up there on that note. So thanks again, Fawn, and we hope you have a great day and enjoy the rest of your St. Paddy's.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the Monday.
All right, thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Hey, bye.
All right. So, basically, nice little recap for those of you who are sticking along and following suit and keeping score. As I like to say it, UDFC, being a major player in the community and only growing, they are admittedly not perfect, but willing to take advice, anything you have to offer, be it soccer, playing guitar. They will find a place for you in their community. And I think that's what the important part is to be honest, for me, the big thing that was said is they're a soccer club who are willing to make room for anybody, any talent. They'll find a way to use that.
Yeah, and one of their catch things is soccer for life, right?
Yeah.
It's from the tiny tots all the way up into your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
They do have those, the kick-arounds, I guess they call them, the all-women's kick-around, which is for all ages, and same with the men's side of things, which is great. I've attended some of those myself, and you meet new people, you meet other coaches in the club, because we're always going in different directions. There's many times I don't meet other coaches, so to go to those kick-arounds and meet new people is great.
Yeah,
so,
and not to mention the fact that they embed themselves into the community with the initiatives and trying to meet people halfway, if not more, to give everybody the chance to play. That's kind of what makes it, like, in my mind, it was always the cheapest thing to play, and it's not even the cheapest, but it is so inclusive.
Yeah.
And that's what they're highlighting is the whole aspect of community and growth.
Yeah. No, that's excellent. So, make sure you look up United Dartmouth Football Club or udfc.ca. So we're going to wrap things up. So, Jim, where can everybody find you on social?
I am on socials.
You are on social. You're on Insta?
The real estate team. You can definitely find me as one of the two people who will get back to you right away if you want to leave a message on Facebook or Instagram. And then I have my own as well, which is... I believe my Instagram's a little more hidden because it's about green real estate because I am green certified. But yeah, you can find me. You type in my name, you're going to find me.
Yeah, same here. Eric Holman Realtor on Instagram, and Eric Holman. Just search Eric Holman, you'll find me.
Yeah.
I come up everywhere.
Not hard to find.
So again, we are the real estate team at eXp Realty of Canada, and when you're ready to move with the team.
Move with the team, and this has been the community game plan with Jim and Eric.
Shenanigans
all
with Jim
day
and Eric,
long.
as we always do.
Happy St. Patty's, everyone.
Have a great day.